Okay, welcome everyone to another fast and loose episode of Destiny Down Under. We are at episode 6. As always, I am your host Clint. I've got my co-hosts Jacob and Blake here. How you guys going?
Yeah, going well.
Yeah, good. Pumped.
Good.
Going good.
Good. You guys excited for some Way of the Force?
Oh man, can't wait.
So excited. I think this set is going to be very expensive. I'm going to spend a lot of money on this set.
Yeah, I agree.
I was telling someone just before that one of my favourite decks at the moment that I've made is the Luke 3 Ray 2 deck, and it has something like 10 legends in it. So I think that might be gunning for most expensive deck in the meta at the moment.
I'm sure we could squeeze a few more in there as well.
I think it's got, by the time you get 2 Lukes, 2 Force Speeds, 2 Ancients, 2 Ezra's Lightsabers, 2 Dagger of Mortises in there.
Oh, yes.
I think you're looking about $300 to $400.
Jeez.
That's almost Magic territory, actually.
Yeah.
That's
what an interesting step for the game to be in now.
Yeah.
I guess there's enough sets out that you just play the best cards of all of them, and they all cost around $30 to $50.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it later because I think the legends in the set are actually really quality legends. Like, they're not rubbish stuff that we got in the last few sets that, like, Rebellion Leaders. Like, I think the thing closest to Rebellion Leader might be Grievous's wheel bike. And even then,
What about
that's not
Dooku's
terrible.
ship thing?
Yeah, but that's a rare.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I was going to scream if that was legendary.
There's always got to be a couple.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, let's get straight into it. We promise we'll try and keep it to 45 minutes. Famous last words.
Yeah, so make sure you have a good hour.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Set your clock for 45 minutes plus another 45 minutes. Blake, played any Destiny?
Yeah, I played a little bit lately. Not as much as I would normally play or would have liked to. But I've had a few things going on, but I've definitely squeezed in some games. Some, old. Is it old standard yet? Like, I've been playing a little bit of Boba Phasma, and then I have been playing a little bit of Rex on TTS, but he's getting dropped now.
Let's hear about that later.
Yeah. Why is he getting dropped, Blake?
Because it's trash. I don't know. Look, I've been playing a little bit. I have Rex. I had Rex built. It was like one of the first decks I built, and then even though we gave away all these cards, I was the noob that didn't actually know how to download them, so I had to wait. So now I have them. We can brew, and I'm very excited for that. But yeah, Rex is not trash. He's just, I think, getting the right shell is. It's harder than just getting the best blue and yellow cards. Blue and yellow, red and yellow cards.
Yep. Well, we're recording from Good Games Bondi, and Jacob and I just did our weekly tournament. I think, 10 players tonight?
Yeah, 10 players, exactly.
We placed 1 and 2. Jacob at 1, myself at 2.
What happened, guys?
Well, I mean, this was the last, Legacies meta before. We've got a Store Champs, like the one and only Legacies meta Store Champs this weekend for us in Sydney. I'm assuming all the rest are going to be Way of the Force. So last week we had Jank Night, and then this was our last practice session. So I guess everyone was busting out the meta decks. I was playing Obi Maz. Clint was on Ray Ayla. And we met in the final, and Obi rolled very well. So I think I managed to get 10 damage round 2, and that was enough to comfortably kill Ray and then pump into Ayla as well.
What was it? 3 on Obi, 3 on Obi, plus 3 on Ancients,
And
1
then,
on Ancients? Or was it an heirloom?
It was 1 and an heirloom, because I later concentrated into the plus 3 in my other Ancient.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
it didn't feel great. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. So we were saying like, oh, the only way back into this game, Clint, is if you god roll now with your like 5 dice on Ayla.
As Jacob sits back, puts his hand behind his head and just thinks he's got this, and then I think I laid
You put down 11 damage on the
11
table.
damage.
So I was able to truce into a Force Illusion, and then blocked 5, took 6, but you know it was over by then.
Yeah, it was. I think that was my only chance at taking that one out. But anyway, Rayala feels solid still.
Yeah, I guess going into Store Champs, I mean the one and only Legacies. Are you thinking about playing Rayala? Same deck, run it back.
I'll definitely be running Rayala. I've been on the fence about a couple of cards. Handcrafted Lightbows versus Obi Sabers. Obi Sabers, basically because of the melee and the shield sides and the special, but Handcrafted Lightbow is Handcrafted Lightbow and it's awesome. So, and the other one I've been toying back and forth from is Trust Your Instincts versus Force Speed as well. Yeah. So, I know Blake will most likely disagree with me on this one, but I'm really liking Trust Your Instincts because it gives me the reroll, I get the draw, and more often than not, I'll actually draw into a piece of mitigation that I need, or a synchronicity.
Or synchronicity.
Which happened to Blake last night. I think at one stage I drew into a Shoto after I Trust Your Instincts on an Ayla pair.
Yeah.
And I was able to play the Shoto on Ray. So it helps just draw through your deck a little bit more, helps your tempo, and it's not a dead card throughout the game, whereas if you don't get Force Speed run 1 or 2, that's pretty much re-roll fodder anyway towards the end of the game. So
yeah, I can imagine that being a good choice, like an extra re-roll in a deck like that. To be honest, I haven't played the deck much. Obviously I've seen it being played a lot, but it feels like you are wanting to re-roll for damage, similar to the days of 5 dice fill-in, like early days like that.
It can be very, very difficult to link the damage together in that deck.
I don't hate Trust Your Instinct. I think it's a good card. I just think Force Speed is really good. Like, what you get for 0.
There's a reason why it costs $50 to buy.
Yeah. I think, I think you have to look past the specials as well. Like, everyone's like, oh, I don't need specials, so I don't play Force Speed, which is kind of understandable. But getting a focus and a shield for 0 cost, like getting that dice for 0, is, if that was the rest was blanks, I would still actually consider that dice because it's 0. And then you get the special on top in, a very heavy tempo-based game, especially in like the current meta.
Yep.
I think it's quite good. But yeah, the just getting that focus and that shield, and having that extra shield with synchronicities in your deck, sometimes that it goes a long way. And
to be fair, the focus on the Force Speed side, on the Force Speed die, really helps you in the mill matchup as well.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about legacies. We're here to talk about Way of the Force.
Just quickly on that, because last time we were like, I was kind of excited. I'd be like, I wouldn't mind if we had a Legacy Store Champs. But now they've released all of Way of the Force. I'm done. Let's just get into this because it looks so insane that. Yeah, like how can you be interested on the weekend? Be like, oh yeah, it's Store Champs. Oh yeah, I'm not playing with all these cards.
Yeah, that's how I've been feeling this week. Like I haven't thought about this Store Champs yet. I mean, like I'm gonna bring either Obi Maz or some kind of like joke deck. That I'm not sure what it's gonna be yet, but it'll spook some people for sure.
Alright, for all our Australian listeners, you can now vote for Jacob's deck.
Worst possible combination.
You make that sound like a joke.
Yeah. The poll will be going up. And Jacob, what would it take for that to actually be real?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, like, if the deck is... if it has an outside chance of winning, then yes, I'll take it.
Okay, let's make this real. So let's set a target. We were talking about giving away something before once we got to a certain amount of likes, because the page has been getting really popular lately, really thanks to Clint's hard work. However, let's set a target. How many more likes do we need, Jacob, for the community to pick your deck?
Okay, what are we sitting at?
Let's
We only have 5 days, 4 days.
But we actually need a boost on our YouTube page. So let's say if we get to 100 subscribers on our YouTube page, we will have a community-picked deck for Jacob to play on Sunday.
Yes, okay. Everyone
Jacob,
gets to pick one card.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm 100% in.
Yes! All right.
We can live stream it. Whatever you want.
All right, you've heard it here. So how far away are we, Clint?
Fast and loose.
Fast and loose.
Fast and loose podcasting. This is Fast
Here
and
we
Loose
go.
podcasting.
Decisions on the fly.
I think we're at about 60, 63. So we need
bit of work to do.
35 to 40.
Yeah, there may need to be some more.
All right, let's just say
promotion going
25 new subscriptions. Fantastic.
Okay.
25.
All right.
Lock it in. 25
in.
new subscriptions. We get to pick Jacob's deck for Store Champs.
on. Yeah. Subscribe and then post the card. What you want.
You know it's going to be Luminara Chirrut, don't you?
Don't give them ideas, Clint. Don't give them ideas.
Fine, Luminara Mon Mothma.
For everyone that does listen, this is real. This is a very real thing. Please be
I'm just going to have everyone that's going to Parramatta, the Store Champs, just subscribing right now.
Okay, this did not take long to derail at all. So let's bring
Okay,
it.
so speeding into Wave the Force. We've got 35 minutes left. Let's do it.
All right. So pretty much every podcast under the sun has talked about Wave of the Force, talked about the spoilers. We're not going to try and dwell too long on it. We're just going to talk about our hot picks for the set.
Wait, weren't we going over every card on Card Game DB?
Do we have until tomorrow night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
We'll
Let's
speed
do
it.
this.
We're just going
Fast
to
and
live
loose.
stream it. Everyone go to Destiny Down Under YouTube channel, subscribe, and you can just go to sleep to the sweet dulcet tones of Jacob reading Way of the Force cards.
Arena of Death.
Yeah. we'll synchronize it. We'll all say it at the same time.
All right.
All right, let's not talk about that card.
All right. Scrolling through, I think the first one we can quickly touch on is Dooku.
Yes.
2 melee, 3 melee for 1, focus, 2 shields, 1 resource, blank. After you activate this character, you may turn one of this character die to a side showing melee damage, turn an opponent's die showing melee damage to any side. Basically, Clash on a stick.
Yep, I think that's incredibly strong. Clash on a stick, the consistency from his ability as well, and a 2 shield side, just another bonus, like big side that you're happy to get on the die. I think he's going to see some play, especially out of the gate. People will be experimenting with him. I'm not sure where he'll settle. Depends what pairings we can really come up with him. But I've been really enjoying watching some of Rebel Spy's videos of him playing it with Greedo or the Rebel Trader. That's been looking pretty cool.
I think Dooku is actually a little bit meta-defining. Whether he sees, like, he stays top tier and he stays, he's a kind of meta mainstay, he's something to be considered. Like, every deck you build, you have to consider Dooku. Like, if he's being really represented in the format, he puts a big hurt on melee decks. So he could potentially have some part in shaping the new format, whether he stays or not,
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, people have to consider it when they're making their decks. But
Just play Luke 3.
Just do
yeah,
that.
that's a big one.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Dooku's insane.
Dooku's pretty cool. I guess his only partner at the moment is what, Talzin?
So Talzin, you could play Sienna as well. I've seen that being played. Then you get Leadership. That's pretty good. Greedo or even Balatik, if you're thinking about resetting.
It's pretty squishy.
Yeah, Balatik is squishy. Same as Greedo. I just liked the look of Sienna with Leadership. That was pretty cool, but maybe just gimmicky.
I mean, maybe it was everything that Vader won Sienna, you know, when the dudes try to play that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's actually there because you get 4 dice.
I mean, he's only 1 hit point off Vader, and he's got, like, similar die, except for that one resource.
That's just like paying for a 4-strike.
just add 1 4-strike into your deck.
Yeah, being optimistic. Anyway, moving on. Sorry.
All right, Snoke.
You just jumped all the trash. Okay.
Yeah, well, do you want to talk about the trash?
I played 5th Brother on TTS. 5th Brother, 7th Sister. I beat Dooku Greedo. The deck was very boring. But it was like a good, you know, like double, middle melee deck. 5th Brother, 7th Sister. Yeah, keep an eye on it. So. You know, you'll have some fun with that. It's actual cool. But it's not breaking any rules or anything.
No. I mean, 13, 16, you're not getting anything awesome like Profitable Connections.
No, he's just super tough at the end. Like, he's just...
Play Ray Ayla.
Just play... Yeah, anyway. For all the people that also collect villain cards, we'll have some suggestions for you.
Okay, Snoke. First question is this guy broken?
Yes.
Jacob?
I haven't seen it on TTS yet. So the power action, that could be incredibly crazy. I don't know. It depends if it's like the other character goes down, does Snoke survive by himself? You know, how much is that 1 extra damage you're doing onto the other character hurting you? But if you're doing it on crazy sides, which have been discussed in the Hyperloops articles, such as resources early, for example, then you can really get ahead. And that can just define the game if you get ahead round 1.
Yeah. So I think the pairing that came hot out of the gate was Snoke Cad. Yeah. And being able to discard for 4 on your 2nd or 3rd action is pretty disgusting. I mean, you can't reliably pull it off, but when you do, it makes for a very difficult round 1 for your opponent.
Yeah, it definitely got some movement in my pants when I actually saw that being done to you, Clint. I just jumped in and watched Clint playing, and the guy just did it. I think he had to do Take Flight as well, just to guarantee that he got one of those sides. Which is going deep, but I guess, you know, it works.
I think Snoke is busted. Even if you just look at him as a character, like, have we had... do we have a non-errated character that's 13 points for 11 health? He's tough.
He'll go to 11, 14. Like,
he will go to 11, 14. I think so.
He has to. Like, and if I ever hear anyone complain about Ayla again, I'm just going to go, hey, Snoke.
I don't know. Ayla's pretty good as well. Let's not get into that. However, I think Snoke is going to be everywhere.
We get into it every time.
Yeah. Ayla's gone now.
But he is going to be everywhere.
He's very strong.
You have to know how to play around all these pairings that are going to come out at the start of the meta, because everyone who is anyone is going to be playing Snoke X or Snoke XX.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Anyone who has Snoke is what you're saying.
Yeah.
At the start.
All I know is that you could probably trade a couple of things for 1 Snoke.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like the Yoda of this set, right?
He definitely is.
Yeah.
He's going to see a lot of play. He's going to be top tier for a long time. I've been watching some videos of Honestly Sarcastic playing a little bit. There's a few people talking about, you know, Snoke X, and just watching it in action and like just how efficient it is. Like, it's just he's crazy. I'm really excited to open a pair of Snokes.
That double focus is busted as well.
Even like it's just insane.
It's ridiculous.
He's going up. He's going to go up.
Yeah.
Like if he was printed at if he was like 10 health, then you'd say maybe he's pretty cool. But like, you know, at 10 or 11, it's only 1 health.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's another turn.
There is a big difference between 9 and 10 and 10 and 11.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Just quickly, what 17 like character pairing do you think is so busted that he needs to go to 14 though?
Cad's a little bit too glass cannon. Like, well, not glass cannon, but
is it? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but once you take down Cad, which you can probably take him down by round 3, like Snoke's
Yeah.
not doing anything after that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Cad Snoke will come in and then he'll be gone very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think what will probably happen is you'll be looking at Snoke as probably a 1-die support and something 3-wide, and that's where he's going to be most busted.
Yeah.
What that is,
I mean, there's Kylo. We also have Kylo, which is interesting. We have Thrawn. Like, there's all these characters that we have to go back and look at now and be like, do these guys pair together? Snoke Thrawn's very interesting. Snoke Cad is like, I like Cad. I like action cheating.
I've played a few games with the Cad Snoke deck, and it's very, very fun. Like, it is very, very fun. But if you don't roll that, it's a bit like Sabine. If you don't roll that damage, you've got an uphill battle.
Yeah, fair.
And you don't have the die correction cards like Sabine does as well.
Yeah,
that's
maybe
true.
he's good with like really versatile dice as well. Like having that focus as well as that power action. Like you can just get anything when I think Snoke's really good. I would power action and disrupt. I would power action. I think every symbol. And be stoked,
It's the only thing where he's limited and he's not like 120% busted is that it has to be another character. Like he can't do it to his own die.
Yeah.
If he could do it to his own die, he'd easily be like
busted
at that cost, or he would have to be like a 12-16 or something.
I'd like to see him going up against like a tanky middle. I think that's where like the decks that it's going to be hard for Snoke to beat would be 3-wide vehicles or like lots of health, or a tanky, because it seems like he's really like, it's in his power action, he's hurting his other character to like pump out the damage or try and get your goal as fast as you can. It's like win fast or die trying. If you can just survive long enough, I feel like that's how you get the edge over him. And you should be thinking about that when you're coming up against him, I think.
Yeah, I like that. That makes sense. Unless your other character's tanky, They also did print, some new cards like Dark Ritual. Which I'm sure we're going to get to because that's also insane. As long as your other characters, like that's what like Snoke Kylo seems interesting because Kylo's pretty tanky in his own right. And I think all of his sides are worth it. And having that 2 focus is worth it. Having just mono blue, like maybe that's challenging. Snoke Thrawn looks really interesting because you do have like the ability to see their hand, take a piece of mitigation, and then just do what you want to do.
Yeah, if you can get,
I think we're going to see that deck go really well.
Yeah, if you can get the 4 resources from Thrawn, like from the ability, that's crazy. There's some very good supports that are coming out now.
Yeah,
that's insane. All right. So moving on, Snoke's great.
Arenda Price.
Well, she was really good, and then they spoiled Snoke.
Yeah,
everyone was like super excited for her, and then it's like, oh, here's Snoke.
I mean, is she like a mini Snoke?
That costs the same.
Costs the same. I don't know. I mean, she's good for special chaining, but. I mean, and the 2 melee is actually really, really good. For a support character that's got, effectively... I mean, sometimes those specials will be blanks, but other times they'll be worth 3 or 4.
Yeah. Alright, she's in Ayla territory, right? For villain. That's the villain Ayla. But, see? Like, we didn't see Ayla's just... So. Yeah, she's not, but, like, I was just looking at her, like, if you had to compare... What's the comparison?
I don't.
Maybe it's her.
I think they play differently though, as well. Like you're saying that because of the special chaining, I guess. But
well, look, I got halfway through that and was like,
That's because we were just jumping down your throat.
Yeah, because like we're like, don't ever say Ayla's busted. Well, try and compare something to Ayla. She's busted. Arenda's good. I think Arenda's good.
And my own words.
What I like about both of these characters is they open up new pairings. Like Villain hasn't had something great and cheap, like a great support character. Like Heroes has had Yoda and Ayla.
That's because
Villain hasn't.
It's because all villains 17 cost characters are busted with a 13 cost character.
Yeah. So you know what's going to happen? They're probably both going to get nerfed. It's going to break the format again because that's what they do. They just nerf the 13-point villains.
I think Price is fine. I think Snoke is probably more of the problem.
Yeah. They're both good.
I think Arinda's good, but I don't think she's like busted good.
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to playing her for sure in like a very fast deck because you want that battlefield, 100%.
Yeah, you want that. I agree. I think Arinda's very good. I think she opens up some options. One card that I looked at that you guys all hated, so I'm just going to say it now and then move on, is Formidable. Formidable is that upgrade. It's got 2 melee shield, 2 shields, and 2 specials, which is cargo hold on a stick. So like, I didn't really look at the set for a few days, and then I looked and I seen them, and I was like, maybe they're pretty cool together, like Price and that card, where if you're fast enough, you can do some extra damage, get 3 shields, or special chain if you're not, and that cargo hold on a stick is something that I think is worth exploring. Maybe she goes with Boba, maybe we have an Arinda Boba deck. Maybe that's something that exists.
I feel like if you,
I'm going to try it, and I'll let you guys know how it goes.
I feel like if you're going to do that, you're better off just going with Phasma.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway,
Anyway.
we'll get back to everyone.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes, guys.
Yeah.
No,
if anyone else wants to save me the time and has tested it, just let me know. But it looks interesting. It looks synergistic, right? And that's what I look for. I'm looking for little synergies to see stuff that works together. Like, sure, you can just look at the set and go, "Oh, that card is inherently powerful. It's so busted, and I'm just going to play it." But then but looking for synergies is where sometimes you'll just find something that is actually sick and completely under the radar.
So I think Arinda with Holocron is where it might sit.
Man, we tried. So I tried a Arinda Vader 2 deck, which was pretty average, and it can be good in the right meta and in the right matchups. But like, you're playing Holocron, and then you just don't draw a Holocron. You mulligan 4 cards or whatever. You still don't hit it. You're like, well, this deck sucks. I have these 2 4-drops in my hand. Yeah, Holocron still has Holocron problems, but yeah, moving on.
We're at 27 minutes, so and we've gotten through 3 cards.
Sweet.
All right, so just quickly, anything else on that first page there? I think
we have to talk about Luke, right?
Luke, yeah. Ezra, I think, just quickly, I think is really good at 8 costs, at 8 points. Probably don't want to play him at 2 die. He's probably not worth 2 die, but he'll slot really nicely into a 5 die deck somewhere for blue.
Yeah. So Ezra at the 8 health now, when I'm comparing it to characters like Luke, who has 12 health, the 8 really stands out to me now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit off Ezra for the moment. I still want to try out his ability.
I wouldn't underestimate the ability of draw.
But yeah, and I'm all on Afra at the moment, all because of that draw. I want to explore that very hard, but I don't know. I guess the low health is in my mind, just with all these big HP characters out now.
Okay, Luke Skywalker, Reluctant Instructor, 12 health, 15 points, 1 focus, 1 shield, 2 shields, 2 shields, 1 resource. You may resolve the shield sides of this die as if they were melee damage. Power action, move a blue ability from this character to another blue character. I hadn't really looked into Luke until a few days ago, and Luke is pretty good. I think because he was spoiled so early, everyone's just gone, Luke, and they've kind of forgotten about him, and all the new spoilers have come out, and everyone's been like, new spoilers. I went back to Luke and have been pairing him with a couple of different parents. He's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think he's one of my picks is the best card in this set. I think just based on the stats alone, the HP, the sides of his die, the fact that it's a shield, the ability. Not that I'm going to be looking to use the ability so much, but in the kind of tanky decks that I like to play, Luke just slots in so well.
I think the power action will come later in the 6th set when we possibly get some more aggressive force abilities.
Yeah, or I think it's like a build around, kind of. I was envisioning you could use it just with force speeds if you wanted to throw it over to, like, say, for example, if you're playing Luke Poe, you can put the force speed on your red character. If that's
no, you can only transfer to another blue character. Is the ability.
Is true. Well, there goes that.
Well then.
Good night, everybody.
Well, he had to have something bad about him.
Do you know what I like is, like, they're saying they want to prolong the game. They want the games to go longer. Like, we're not in Lucas's world anymore where he was like, just smash everyone with broken stuff. But they haven't reduced the power level. If anything, the power level is getting back to what we were used to before, what we had. But what they're doing is giving us way more hit points for their costs. So you're probably getting extra turns out of games, but you're still having really good games with powerful stuff. Yep. Like, after all the original kind of wave of nerfs, it felt like we were playing really basic Destiny again until, like, R2-P2 come out, and those mirrors were pretty fun. But apart from that, like, it seems like we're getting back up to Spirit of Rebellion kind of power levels, but there's HP to boot. So if you're playing with these big characters, like, you're not just going to get rolled off the table on turn 1. Like, you're going to get a second chance to come back. But you are still doing incredible damage. So I like where they're going with this game. I think Jeremy's done a fantastic job. I think it's going to be really good this next set. Playing this game moving forward, all the games are going to be great.
Yeah. So I've really liked Luke. Been playing him with Ray 2, pretty solid. Been playing him with Poe 2, also pretty solid. I'd like to try him with Cassian, see if there's something there with Blue-Yellow Hero. The 10 health on Cassian puts me off a little bit, but his Cassian's die just being basically 2, 3, 1, 1, 1 blank is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too upset resolving a 2 shield to protect Cassian in that situation, like Luke's die, unless it was killing, obviously. But
yeah.
Like Cassian, if he just stays around, he's doing damage.
Yeah. So that's probably but I think really for the first part of the set, I'm going to be focusing on a Luke Skywalker deck. I think is going to be my jam for a little bit. I also thought Luke, Ayla, Profitable Connections, round 1 Force Wave twice.
Yes, nice.
Yeah, that's a bit spicy.
Okay, we're running out of time. So, Plo Koon, it's a trap.
Is that
Have you
true?
seen it? I've seen some busted videos of him, but I've never tried him.
I've seen some busted videos as well, and I've also seen some videos where it just completely falls apart.
Which character pairings?
Padawans.
Yeah,
I haven't watched
2 Padawans.
Yeah, I haven't watched any mill ones with partisans, but the Padawans, like the dream with Plo Koon is Ancient round 1, Field Medic, Ancient round 2, Free Field Medic. So you're negating like 4 damage there, or anywhere if you just keep an Ancient. But the Padawans are just a little bit too squishy at 7.
I like the idea of a Jedi Instructor as another ability for him, or I guess a Jedi like the Guard, so you get Guardian.
Temple Guard seems cool.
Yeah,
I think Plo's good. But in saying that, I think the low health decks now are changing. Like the format might be changing where you can just, if you're playing like a low health guy, you can get blown out.
Yeah, well, I mean, with
lose a guy real quick.
Plo Koon 2 Padawans, it's only 24 health. Like that's only 1 health off, like Luke Ray. And you've got 3 characters, plus you can tank with Luke. Like,
yeah, I don't know if it's a trap. I think the thing too is like all the decks that we're seeing, they're brand new decks. Like they're not being tweaked. They're not being like when you're getting kind of midway through a format, you're like like the decks are super tuned. Like they're tight. They have solid game plans. So I think once you start to see that kind of happen, people sticking to decks and working on them. Plo's ability is pretty insane. Like I feel like enough people have talked about him. Don't really need to go too much on it.
Yeah.
There has to be something there, there has to be something there, right?
Don't get me wrong.
Maybe there's a way to get a big character next to him and a little character.
Don't get me wrong. I think his ability is really, really good. I did try him out with a Padawan and Ezra at 1 die, and I thought that was all right because you're getting like a profitable connections with it. You're getting the draw with Ezra, and Ezra late game is pretty hard to kill when you can just keep cycling an Ancient twice in 1 round as well.
Yeah,
so.
Right.
So that might warrant some further investigation. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think like how I envision the Plo Koon deck is a very, very aggressive deck that tries to kill a character round 1 with just the amount of dice that you can get in. So if you have, you're aiming for 6, 7 is a dream. It's possible, right? But if that's what your deck's plan is, to get in 6 dice round 1, roll them all out, you're going to do at least like 7 damage.
Look, I think Plo Koon Padawan X is going to come hot out of the gate. I think at the first Store Champs we're going to see 2 or 3 of them.
100%.
And I think it's just going to be a case of burst down the Padawan, burst down Plo, then burst down the final Padawan.
Yeah, if it's the Padawans, I think you just need to get those die off. Unless they're redeploy, then it's a bit harder.
It becomes tricky. All right, so the final 2 characters that we've already touched on. Rex. Rex, I think is pretty cool. But I think he's going to take a while to find his place.
Yeah, I've been trying a little bit of Rex. Seems a little bit fair. So I think there's got to be a specific spot for him. Like, I've been playing Rex, Trooper, Hide Gun with Fort Anaxis, and just trying to tank up. But the sides haven't been great. Like, the dice haven't been great. I feel like I've rolled a little bit suboptimal, but I don't feel like I'm rolling, super strong dice anyway. And then from the few games I've played with Rex, where I want to take Rex now is like a super fast wingman, hit and run, just mono red, just get out there and then work out some kind of dice fixing cards, which they have nerfed all the good ones, so maybe it just doesn't happen.
And I guess we already touched on Cassian. His dice are insane for his cost. He's going to see a lot of play as well. Like every other podcast has talked about how pretty awesome he's going to be.
Just keep him alive. Just keep doing that damage.
Yeah. All right.
Cassian's great.
So we've got
make sure you target Cassian. If everyone's trying to keep him alive, make sure you're actually targeting Cassian first. I think he's like that annoying that you have to target him first. Otherwise, you get into this weird state, like when you're trading. So, like, I've always been pretty strong about the games about trading characters, and if you get the first trade, you set up well. Where Cassian kind of messes with that, right? Where, like, if you trade for a character, by the time you've done that, your secondary character has 4 damage on it from the Cassian triggers, if not more. So, like, they're ahead, even though it doesn't feel like it. Your opponent's actually ahead, so you just have to get rid of Cassian pretty quick.
And then Cassian's doing 6 damage hits or 4 damage hits once it's 1-on-1.
Yeah. So just kill Cassian first, and I think you'll be fine.
Blake, what is your... I don't know how much you've looked through all the events and supports or upgrades. What's your favourite event or support so far that you think is very, very playable?
000.
000.
Does that count?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that count? It counts.
Yeah, that counts.
That's
a support.
Yep.
It has a dice. I've always been excited for Aphra. Even when she came out, I knew that she wasn't great then. But to me, she was like the 7th sister, like where you just kind of picked her up just in case. And then look what happened to 7th sister. Like, she ended up being busted. It just took a genius to make it. So... whether Aphra can do that or not, I think maybe she does need a 3-wide deck. But now she's got some great new supports, new droids to play with. And I'm really excited to actually play with Aphra now.
Why is C-3PO black?
000 is my call. What?
What? I'm just looking at the card. Why is C-3PO black?
Is this a trick? I don't follow Star Wars. I just play the game.
One of those people.
Yeah, I've
never seen Star Wars.
I mean, between him and BT1, it's going to be pretty... Like, that BT1 with the 3-side as well is pretty gross.
Yeah, those droids for 1 is fantastic.
And you get them out for free.
Yeah. for one cost, right?
Yeah,
I think they
for
cost
one.
2, yeah.
No, but don't you... Oh, are they 2 cost each,
Yeah.
are they? Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But they're insane at 1. They both trigger Aphra, so drawing extra cards is really, really good. However, I think you need to be drawing into something that's relevant. Like, when I got back from Worlds, I played this random Aphra Mole deck just because I wanted to play Mole. And I was trying to trigger Aphra, the draw ability, but like drawing into out-of-hand damage makes it really good. So I think that's something we need to consider when you're playing Aphra. Like, if you can abuse the draw, but abuse it in a way that it's turning into damage. So drawing into out-of-hand damage, like lightsaber throws and whatever else we can come of it now.
Yeah, I played. I guess we're going to talk about Aphra for a little bit here, but I played Aphra on a Jank night last week, and it was about delving into like big things, obviously. And with Planetary Bombardment out now, and I just want to do a deck where I am drawing into that combo like as early as possible. So I think I've said it earlier. The draw ability is very underrated. If you can consistently draw like an extra 1-2 cards per round, and then I was throwing in blue, so I had Boundless Ambition. That might be going a bit deep, but it was pretty much guaranteeing that I had my combo pieces like as early as possible. And it's going to depend how strong getting Planetary Bombardment down early is going to be, and if you can protect that die. Because I got into the situation with a little game with Clint where he had an Honor Guard out, and he was on Docking Bay as well, so he was recurring it when possible, and it was just keeping my big, huge Planetary Bombardment at bay like every round. I just had to play around it so that as soon as he played he activated it, then I could just claim and he wouldn't be able to recur it. But if you can,
how consistent is that? Like in that, I know, like in a ramp deck, Planetary Bombardment is actually sick, but like when you have to rely on kind of delve, like in an Aphra deck, not, is it like
it's not enough, to be honest?
Not going to break the meta.
No, I like if I wanted to play Planetary Bombardment, I'd be playing a support deck where I also had other like powerful supports that I could play if I didn't find it. I don't want to go too much into the delve to get it out, because it is only delve that cheats it out. If you're not getting enough money,
maybe friends in high places.
Yeah, that's what I was considering as well.
Yeah,
but with the Halifax, what is it? The new droid tank that came out.
Yes,
that's another one for Aphra. I think that's more leading her into a mid-rangey, like not going big, but going lots of droid and spewing out guys and supports. That kind of deck.
I was about to say the opposite, like with Aphra, like having 000 BT1, her ability, like it's making me want to just play a bunch of cards every turn. So discounted cards, draw more cards, so like a bunch of 0-cost things or 1-cost stuff. And just kind of spew out cheap dice and just like overwhelm with, cheap dice. But that is still good. Like 000 is good, BT1's good. I think BB9E is fine for 0.
Yeah, I think it gets pushed out now with enough other droids coming in. But like you said, I think outvaluing with just drawing more cards, playing more things, getting more dice out, that's how Aphra's going to get into this game.
Yeah, I'm excited for Aphra. So, talking of Way of the Force, I'm excited for Aphra.
Yeah,
Jacob.
But that was my support, 000.
Yep, Jacob, favourite sport, events, whatever tickles your fancy?
I'm so excited to play Planetary Bombardment. That card is a beast, for sure. I'm not sure if the vehicle trigger is going to happen that much. I'm guessing in the decks with Snoke and Thrawn, and you're making lots of money, or if you can make a lot of money, you're getting little vehicles out, and then you pop that down, then the trigger of it will be amazing. But I'm looking forward to playing with that card, 100%. I think what's important is protecting it. So playing cards like Probe or Friends in Low Places, you got to get rid of that removal. Like, if you're paying that much for it, it has to be number one priority. That's where Thrawn is also helpful, if you can remove their removal from hand.
Yeah. That deck's going to be legit.
Yeah.
Clint, what have you got?
Yeah, what do you think?
I'm pretty hot on the Dagger of Mortis. I think that thing is pretty much the bomb and straight up replaces Heirloom for me. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's like the 3+3 can be a blank side, and so Heirloom's more reliable, but I kind of view the 1 as a blank on Heirloom. Like, a lot of the time I'm going to re-roll the 1, unless I need it for a base side.
That's a good point.
I'd rather straight up have the dagger, to be fair. I'm also pretty hot on Pacify at the moment. The flexibility of Pacify is pretty awesome. I think it straight up replaces Caution in a blue hero deck. A lot of people disagree with me on that, but I think Pacify is on all the time, where Caution can be dead halfway through the game.
They have different roles, though. Like, Pacify, you have to remove that character's dice, right?
That's true.
So that's one thing. And then 2, I think we need to kind of, like, in a vacuum, it seems it's hard to evaluate that card. Like, how detrimental is it going to be when you have to give your opponent 2 shields when you're in the late game and you're trying to take that kill? Maybe not so much in the late game, but in that mid game, you know?
Okay, so maybe I should clarify is that 90% of the time I'm using it on my own blanks to give my own characters shields.
Okay.
The other 10% of the time is to get rid of a big die if I need to. So it has that flexibility.
Yeah. Yep.
And yes, it might end up being that you run both Caution and Pacify, because other cards like Force Misdirection in certain decks now starts becoming dead because of the range sides that are going to show up and the indirect sides that are going to show up in the meta. And Force Misdirection is really bad with Luke because of his shield side. So you might just end up replacing Pacify over Force Misdirection or Guard or something like that. Yeah. Depending on your deck build. But I think Pacify is super, super strong. It's super, super flexible. And can be used, like if you're using it in combination with a Vibro Knife or Dagger of Mortis, like you're playing it on a character that's already got 3 shields on them anyway, on your opponent, there's no...
Yeah, that's cool.
There's no sort of downside to it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was thinking in a damage race, like early on, it's like 2v2, you don't mind giving the character that you're not going after 2 shields if you're going to remove 2 of their damage. Like a lot of the time it's about who can get that kill first. If that's going to help you in the race, like go for it as well. Like that's where it's flexible.
Yeah, I think the card's great. Just saying, I think it's great. Just maybe that it didn't replace Caution. But having both of them together seems gross.
Yeah. But the problem that I have with Blue Hero is that sometimes you spend more time removing your own die than you do actually pushing damage. Like that's the stipulation of Blue Hero, is you've got to remove die to actually do something defensive. So playing both of them, you just can't play them all. Like you've got strong cards like Caution and Guard, but you've got to remove your die. So playing all of them is not really viable.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
So another couple of honourable mentions, I think, are Blaze of Glory.
So explain what that one does.
So I call it the Hero Best Defense. It's Hero Red event, cost 1, activate one of your characters, then remove any number of an opponent's die showing damage, and deal damage to that character equal to the combined value of the removed die. So it might be super situational, but if you've got a support character that's got like 2 health left on him and you want to do a complete board wipe of 5 or 6 damage, you just activate that character for 1 and lay all that damage over killing him by 4. And you've just time walked your opponent's whole turn for the sake of killing off one of your support characters that was going to probably die anyway.
Yeah, I think that's like obviously best case scenario for it. Or I mean, if you also were happy soaking up some of those little, like, 1 damage sides on the heirloom, for example, instead of letting them re-roll into a 3 later on. And, like, just being able to split the damage, that's always strong.
Yeah.
If you're playing 3 wide, you can, like, if you've cautioned up 3 shields onto one of your other supports, go ahead and remove 3 or 4 of their dice. If it keeps your main alive, then it's going to win you the game for sure.
I like that card. I think it's really good.
I think it's
but
awesome.
again, it's, you know, depending on the format. Like, how many... Like, if we're starting to... If people are still trying to string big damage together with mods, it gets even better, right?
Correct.
So, and I think that's depending on what people are doing. The downside I see of that is... Can we still play, you know, remove damage dice events? Like, how many of them can we play? With things like Luke, with all this other random stuff happening now, we need to be considering... We need to be able to remove other dice. Like with Snoke, you know, the focus, like we need the flexibility in the removal now. However, when I seen Blaze of Glory, I was like, this card's really cool. And depending on the format, it can definitely do some damage.
One final one that I think deserves a mention is a support Suppressive Fire. Hero Red again, 0 cost. After a character is activated, you may spend 1 resource and discard the support from play to remove 1 of its character die.
Man, I didn't even have this in my Rex deck. What the heck?
I saw that. I saw that being played when I played against you, Clint, or I saw you playing some other guy. The first time that I actually seen it in play, and it was actually you were playing Snoke Cad. So
he was playing Snoke Cad.
He was playing Snoke Cad, and that's when I saw the power of it being a reactionary ability, which I didn't really pick up on straight away when I read it. And that is absolutely huge in this game. I don't think there's maybe one other card in the game with a reaction like that where you can remove a character dice and then it's your action. It doesn't lose you tempo. You know, you can remove multiple dice if you want your next action to be to remove some more. But being able to react to someone like Cad action cheating out, getting to remove either his like discard or his gun side before he was able to power action it, that was really strong.
Yeah, that or Sabine. Sabine rolls a 3, pay 1 to get rid of the 3.
Yeah, and I like how they've introduced that as well. They've introduced this reaction ability so that it's a way to stop action cheating. They're providing some countermeasures here, and which is good balance. It's good design.
They've kind of tried to hurt Sabine, right? Like there's that other card that removes upgrades from the discard pop. I think they've tried to bring these soft counters out to Sabine. I don't know if that card's good enough, just saying. But I like that they're actively trying to do something about it without just straight nerfing it. I like that they're printing these, answers. Whether they're good enough, whether that strategy works, like in Magic, we you just put all these kind of answers in your sideboard. Sometimes it's not good enough where your strategy kind of needs to adapt more so than just having a couple of hate cards. But I like that they're attempting to do something about it before nerfs.
I feel like it might be one of those cards that's just I can't remember that one that you're talking about, but I wonder if it's just one of those happy little accident ones that it has an upside against Sabine.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like no cheating, right? They printed no cheating, but it was way too late for them before they printed that. They had that in Awakenings, and it was like,
man, I wish that card was in the meta because that card is awesome.
But anyway, it's more the point. I like that they're trying to do this, they're before just nerfing everything. Just print some hate cards, see if it's enough to scale stuff back.
Well, Jacob and I were talking before, talking about Suppressive Fire, particularly. Is that it's a very balanced card. If we go back to the days of Imperial Inspection, even Running Interference, they were very unbalanced cards. Whereas this is fair. You play it, it goes straight to your discard pile. You have to pay 1. If you didn't have to pay for it, it would...
It would be busted.
It would be pretty busted.
Yeah.
I think it would.
With Docking Bay.
With Docking Bay, it'd be super busted, but it's a very balanced card that does a very good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
great.
love
with
its
Docking Bay
zeros.
is still great.
Yeah, still being able to recur it, but being 0 so you can play it at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Just get ready for the next turn. You know, you can pay your 2 resources on an upgrade, plonk that down, and then you're ready to remove dice next round.
The only downside to it, if there is a downside, is that even if you recur it with Docking Bay, you still have to pay the 1 for it. So it's still not free, but it's still pretty strong to interact with someone's die before, as they've just hit the table. And it doesn't cost
It's
you
still
an action.
recurring mitigation. So,
correct.
Kind of towards the end of the last set, I played some Blue-Red Hero again. I played like a bit of Poyota. I looked at some other things. And what I found is I didn't want anything but Honor Guard. And then you get to the point where you're like, oh, do I play just Honor Guard and Docking Bay? Like, is that good enough? So now having 4 things, like, you don't have to play any other supports that you can recur with Docking Bay. I think that's enough. And they're all mitigation, which is great as well.
If you're playing Blue-Red
Hero. Depending on, I guess, your build.
Depends on the upgrade speed.
Depends on the upgrade
I didn't have
R2,
Ancients.
P2.
See, R2PG had Ancients and Shotos, though.
Yeah.
So you could play Binds. Like
that's what I mean.
I couldn't play. I had to play Guns.
Okay.
But having that as a package now where you're not limited to your upgrades, so like you can have Docking Bay and those 4, and that's a nice little package of mitigation for Red Blue Hero.
Yep.
All right, we've gone way over time already.
What are we looking at? 55 minutes?
So,
I didn't
Blake.
even look at the time.
Blake, hot take. Hot favourite deck coming out of the meta, straight out of the gates next week.
Something aggressive. I don't know yet. Something aggressive. Make sure your deck is streamlined and it can just spike big damage. People are going to be dawdling around. This is an age-old rule from old Magic pre-releases. Just play something aggressive that's streamlined. Let the other people dawdle around and work out what deck's good, and just beat them up for messing about playing janky, weird stuff. Just play Dooku Towson, probably.
Jacob?
All right, Dooku Towson. There we go. I talked myself into it.
Well, I was thinking when you were saying aggressive, that's what I was thinking, the Plo Koon Padawans, and just spewing out as many dice as possible early round. If you're thinking about pouncing on your opponents, then just get as much dice out as possible. But I really like the idea of Luke and Rey. I think that's going to be amazing.
Yep. I think for me personally, I'll be playing Luke Rey straight out of the gate. Because my next question is going to be, do you think in the next 4 weeks it's better to play something that you know and just add in 4 to 6 new cards that you think might fit in, and that kind of gives you an advantage over everyone else? Or do you just want to play the new cards?
Like specifically for store champs, are you thinking?
Yes, specifically for store champs.
Yeah, okay. So competitively, one of the teammates here tonight was talking about that could be a good strategy while everyone else is trying to navigate this new meta. Just play a good deck right now, put in a few, amazing Way of the Force cards if they slot in easily. But I think there's a lot of power to be had in Way of the Force, so you might be throwing away some potential there. And you're not going to know how to react to these new decks either. So it's not going to be as straightforward as playing a good deck in the Legacies meta, like once again, with just a few added cards.
Yeah, I think so. I think very much the same, where metas kind of shape after they evolve and they become something completely different. It's crazy how one set can really change a meta, and then looking at the R2P2 meta for a prime example, like that was a whole meta in itself, but it took a little while to happen. But then once it was there, it was like, wow, this is like actually the meta that we're in. Everything else goes out the window, and you start with every meta has its own set of rules that exist. So I think we don't know what's going to still carry over. Is Obi-Maz still going to be any good? It might not be. This whole meta might change completely. We might see heaps of 3-character decks or really tanky decks. I think you have to kind of play as much games as you can and try and work out the underwritten rules of the meta, the specific meta that you're playing. That's my take. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or is that just a ramble? All right.
If in doubt, play Blue Hero.
Blue, yellow, heroes. Probably still good, right?
It's probably still good.
Obi Maz?
All right, let's
Probably still good.
let's wrap it up. I think we've got a couple of mentions. First of all, I think we want to give a big, huge shout out to Pearl Yeti, aka Sean, and the Artificery crew for all their help and support over the last 5 to 6 weeks, I think it is. As everyone in Australia is probably aware, we got a little bit shafted on Store Champs kits, and Pearl Yeti and the Artificery crew jumped on board and put a care package together for Australia. So that's coming across to us, and we're going to have that distributed out to various different stores around Australia to help support their competitive scene. So that's all done out of the kindness of their own hearts. They've given up Galactic Qualifier mats, full arts, flanks and lightsaber pools, and various other alt art promos, etc. like that. So we're going to be receiving that in the next few weeks, and members or community leaders in each area of Australia will be chatting about that and how we're going to get that out to the stores and the events that they're going to organise for that.
And we won't be taking any of the good promos before we distribute it, for sure. We won't be doing that.
Clint won't be taking 2 full art lightsaber pools, but don't be surprised if they're missing. Joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah, it was an amazing
Imagine if
response.
they don't actually rock up now. You look so bad. If Yeti's like, oh, whoops, I forgot to pack them. And you're just like, oh, shit.
I swear. Yeah, that was an amazing response that we did get from, like, not only Artificery, what they've done is amazing, but everyone was kind of chipping in and trying to figure out how best to navigate this situation and really showing support, which I'm sure everyone in Australia really appreciates. So thank you to the Star Wars Destiny community out there. You're all awesome, and you always have been.
Yeah, the whole community. Like, massive shout out to Yeti. Just for doing it, just like, you have to be a pretty decent human being just to have that thought come in and go, you know what, these guys got shafted, I'm going to help them out. Like, most people will just kind of look and move on with their life and get on with their store champs or whatever. But, Yeti, actively thought about it. So, a massive thanks. We did try and get him on the show, but we're all lazy Australians. So we'll get that, unorganised Australians.
Time zones.
Time zones. So, Yeti, we'll get you on. We really want you on the show. So really appreciate that. That's it, the whole community. Like, it just shows the love in this whole community, and I think this is genuinely the best gaming community that exists, out of every other game.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, any final comments, guys?
Not for me. Just super excited to get some Wave to Force cards in my hands.
Blake?
Yeah. No, I'm good. This has been fun. I feel like it's a bit rushed. Maybe we need a 2-hour long one. Actually, the only thing I wanted to say is we're all pumped for this. I'm actually pumped to see what the limited format looks like. Like, have they built... Because now this set is the first set that's built with Rivals. Have they built this set with limited in mind? So we have 2 events coming straight after release. We have a draft and a sealed. And I'm really pumped for that. So I think everyone should get out and try limited again, because people might have weird views on it because, Rivals come out so late. I'm excited to see if this set is built with limited in mind. All the commons and uncommons, how much synergy is between them and how well they work together, and how important it is that you actually draft well instead of just drafting good cards.
Yeah, I know that's my plan for the boxes that I have pre-ordered. I'm just going to be drafting those at the start. I know a lot of the people here at the local store are just planning on doing the same.
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to draft. That was my favorite format when I was playing Magic, so I'm really, really keen and excited to see it thrive here in Star Wars as well.
Yeah, I suck at draft. I need to get better at draft.
I'm going to draft with Clint and steal all of his loot. It's going to be great.
Man, I really hope we win this pick a deck for Jacob competition.
Yes.
I was hoping that would
Pick a
get
deck.
mentioned again.
Yes.
All right.
Pick a deck. We're over time. Guys,
So
15 subscriptions on YouTube.
Was it 25?
5 subscriptions. Just someone subscribe and we will do it. Now, 25
right.
subscriptions and we're going to pick Jacob's
All
deck
right.
and it's going to be dope.
All right, I think we're at 60 subscriptions. Let me have a quick look. On the YouTubes, I have a feeling we're at about 6.
Okay. Are we getting people to just post random decks or like character combinations? How do we want to do it?
No, I think we'll just pick it for you.
We're just what?
We'll just pick it for them. What we'll do is we'll put up 3 options.
We'll do a poll. Yeah.
And we'll do a poll. Yeah, that sounds
The deck
great.
has
That
to
sounds
function.
pretty
Like, I know
We're at
at first
65.
we were like, just let every single person that subscribes gets to pick one card. But the deck still has to function, all right? So,
Yeah.
So we'll put up a poll. 25 subscribes. We'll put up a poll. They're all going to be trash. And then we get to pick and what Jacob plays at Store Champs.
Yeah.
All right, we will get that organised. I'll get this uploaded in the morning. We will blast it over our Facebook page.
And a big countdown.
And if we get to 100 subscribers, so that'll be 35 subscribers, we'll
It's gonna. He can play Luminara.
we'll think of something.
We'll think of something. We'll think of something, Blake.
All right, guys.
I'm so excited for this. See you guys.
Thanks for listening. We will let everyone know how Store Champs goes this weekend. And until next time, see you later.
See ya.
See ya.